your halo down. You gave me fever. No need to tell me all. Your eyes I always remember. I wrote you on and on. You never gave me an answer. Am I the only one? I didn't know it was over. Take care of you. I didn't know it was over. Take care of you. Take care of you. I wrote you on and on. You never gave me an answer. Am I the only one? I didn't know it was over. Take care of you. Take care of you.
Hello everybody, welcome to the live stream, and I'm so happy to have you here today because we're doing a very special segment. For the first time, I'm going to be doing a live stream where I will challenge you to follow along with me to do something great. In our case, we're going to be building something that we want to do for a very long time, which was build an e-commerce site for the Coix3 family. And this is something that I'm allocating myself for 2 hours to get 3 big things done. And I'll elaborate on that in a second. But in this meantime, I challenge you to also work on your own website, even if you don't have one yet. In today's stream, I'll walk through the end-to-end decision-making process to build a great website, no matter which tool you're using, Notion, Webflow, Squarespace, WordPress, or etc. The idea that I have today is to help you push through on things that you've been pushing back, right? So for our case, it's building the website, and there's just many things that we think could be done better if you have the right motivation, the right support group, the right, environment to really put your full efforts in. So let's get straight into it. I'm going to switch my view into my screen and talk a bit about what we'll be doing today. So let me hide that bit for a second. Perfect. So today we're going to be doing 5 things to get to where we want to go. But I want to be clear on what are the 3 main objectives that we want to build for today. So for today, what we want to do is we want to get 3 big things done about the site. The first one is, and let me write this down. The first one is to have a store landing page for our e-commerce site. The next thing is to have product lists to display and for customers to browse our displayed products. And then the last one we want to make sure we have is a working checkout to ensure a checkout flow to ensure customers can purchase our products. So the idea here is that we actually have three big things that we already know that we want to build. And again, in usual fashion in our live streams, we also like to talk about why, what, and how. You know, these are the main questions that really make up a really good build, because if you know the motivations behind it, the goal behind it, and you know what you want to achieve and how you're going to get there, it becomes really easy for you to get into the flow of things, schedule the time you need to do to make the to build the work that you need, and then also essentially deliver on time and deliver what you really wanted out of this whole experience. So for why we want to build this, I want to be very clear. For us, we already have a site currently that is running and is being able to showcase to our Code3 community, you know, different various templates that we offer to the world to help them live a better life. Now, what we don't like about this specific website is that right now it's hosted on Notion, which was great when we first started out. I think it's a great tool to MVP your products, but right now it's starting to become less performance in the sense that our SEO isn't as good. People can't find us online so easily. And also we think that there could just be more a dynamic experience that, you know, just shows everyone what we want to talk about in a more beautiful way and a more seamless way, and instead of just a long scrolling screen. And the last thing we want to say is that the checkout methodology right now is kind of confusing. We're using a few different payment providers, so we want to consolidate that all to Stripe within Webflow. And why we chose Webflow in the first place, it's a really easy platform. It's also the platform that I chose to go with when I turned our entire Code3 websites into a Webflow websites. So this is our website currently, and this looks very, very immersive. I feel very engaged with the sites, and that's the same experience I want to give for our toolbox, which is why we're doing this for our e-commerce site as well. But really, it's just a great tool, and for the most part, it's relatively cheap. I think if you compare to other competitors, it's around $20 a month, even less. And if you're really serious about building a business online, I definitely think that it's a worthwhile investment. So today we're going to be talking about, you know, building this, and just let me write down the why so anybody later on coming in can see why we're building this. It's to replace the non-performant sites we have currently at toolbox.code3.com, which means better SEO, streamline payments, etc. Okay, so essentially we want to make it less confusing for everybody who's using our looking into our system. And then how? Okay, so these are the things that we're going to be doing today that would apply to you no matter what kind of tool you're using to build your site, because I don't want you to change right now. If you're already building your sites, whether it be custom building and whether it be, you know, Notion sites, whether it be a Webflow site, Squarespace, whatever it might be using, you know, what we want to show you today is how you can go about building a website from finding a suitable template to work as a base, replicating it inside your own project, changing the wordings to fit what you need to tell the world, because everyone has a different story to tell, adding custom components that you need to make sure that their site works, because everyone has a custom business of their own. And last thing is publishing an MVP version, not going too crazy with features, and just seeing what works, right? Seeing what clicks. And I want to show you all again and how we started the stream. This is going to be a longer stream. It's going to be a 2-hour stream, but I hope that you'll build along no matter what you're building, as long as you are pushing forward on something that you wanted to do. And of course, I'll be teaching you how we do it along the way, so you can have us in the background and listen in. I hope to do this in 30-minute chunks. So every 30 minutes, we're going to see what we get done so we can keep benchmarking ourselves and keep moving forward. So right now I'm going to set a timer on the clock. You guys can also join me if you'd like, but basically I'm going to a new tab, and then I'm just going to go ahead and type in cox3.com/pomo, and that should link you to a shared pomo timer with all of us. And then I'm just going to put here Conrad, and then we're going to do 25 minutes of work and see how far we go. Okay, awesome. Let's hit that timer button. So it's going to be starting. I have it playing in the background. You don't have to worry too much about it. I'll let you know when the timer ends every 30 minutes. And as you see, 25 minutes, 5-minute break, and so on. And we'll just show you how this process goes. Okay. Clock has started. Let's get started. So first thing we do is we look into the webflow templates just to see if there's any e-commerce site that we currently look like. And right now, again, if we like something, we'll make the investment to get it, because there's a lot of components that already are well built, and we don't necessarily need to build more if they already have the features that we need. So let's open a few and see what we like. We also have a few that we've opened up before already just to show you, but essentially we open this up. You can see, like, you know, the cost of it, if we can preview it in our browser, which I'd like to do, just to see how it looks, and we can make some decisions on which template we want to start with. And from the bat, I don't really like it. This is not the site I'm looking for. That's fine. We can keep looking, and I'll open a few just to show you that the ones that we did like before when we were preparing for the stream. But you know, just looking into this, like this one has a lot of different elements that we like. So for example, we can go into, I don't want to show you the landing page. This one we liked in terms of the payment checkout screen, but let's just go to the landing page first and just see where we go from there. So that's their purchase screen. I want to see the different things. Pricing is what we're looking for. I wonder, where am I going? Browse pages. I want to see the shop. There we go. The shop is where we want to go. And we like that it kind of had a lot of different things. Again, it's just very standard, I think, for the most part. You have a square, and you can see the prices. Okay, pretty cool, pretty cool. We like it. Let's see another one. So this one's for courses. So we're not exactly doing courses, but it's also a good look and feel just to see how other people are designing their sites and how they would format certain things. So we took a look. This one is courses. Okay, I like how this thing stays in the right to stay sticky on the page, whereas everything here keeps scrolling. Again, one thing I didn't like about the old page was you can keep scrolling forever and you'd never essentially get any, I mean, you get to the bottom, but you forget about the stuff at the top. So having something that persists is very, very cool. I like it a lot. So I think that's a good example to take a look at. This one I thought was pretty cool. This one essentially just really different design. I've never seen a design like this. I don't necessarily like the homepage, but I do like this page. The picture scroll instead of the text, and I thought that might be pretty cool if I have a lot of pictures to display about, you know, whatever products I'm sharing with the world. This one was also pretty cool. This one was about meals, but what I liked was they had, you know, different options, subscription options that you can choose. And I believe you can also choose specific things on top of that. Yeah, so you can do the meal plans, or you can just take out each specific thing, which is, again, something we do have as well. We have subscriptions as well as we have, you know, one-off purchases. So that's something we also like. So just going back to here, just to show you a bit more examples. Again, you see the ones that we were looking are here as well. But I just wanted to give you like an idea of, like, you know, how do we go through things, and on what basis do we reject ideas and reject different templates. And you can see that it's just really depending on what you need, right? Like, for example, do we need like a big slider like that? Maybe it's interesting, right? But I think the general thing for this one is, let's see. So there's a few big things happening. I think if you have a lot of products, this site works well for you, but for us, we only have 8 things. So we don't necessarily need this huge real estate. So I'm going to hide that. I don't think that's the right thing for us. Let's keep looking. We're looking for something that has a few different components just really displayed out. And one thing that I came across as well, I do want to show you, that I thought was really cool. I liked it a lot. Let's show you Let's show you it's right here. I'm going to open up the live site. I thought this one was pretty cool as well, but this one is obviously like, you know, fashion. But I was also thinking like, you know, for us it's Notion templates, so maybe we have the template here and then you can keep going through, you keep seeing things. I thought that might be pretty cool. And then as you click, you might go deeper into you know, whatever we provide. But our thing is that we might have different categories, so this doesn't really fit every category of things that we want to share, so might not be the best thing. So let's hide that and let's go back into the page and see what else. I'm going to budget probably 2 more minutes to make a decision. Again, if you're making a purchasing decision, you might want to take a little longer than that. But again, I've kind of looked through this already and have some basic idea of what template that we might want to start off with. But again, we can see, okay, so these are again basic like, you know, cards. And again, if they're basic cards, I'm not certain that this is something that we want. I think this one is really basic. I don't think that's the one we want. No scrolling on the side, just basic stuff. Let's take a look at some more things. I don't think retail particularly works. You just notice I opened that skateboard one. I do want to see if that one works. Again, they have some products, but it's not really big and showy. I want something big and showy that just screams at me in my face when I hit land. So let's take a quick look. Events don't really matter. The learning platforms, I think, kind of hit us. Like education, I think, might be a good category. So let's go to education and see what's in there. So education has a few. Again, we've opened most of them, but let's take a look at this. This one doesn't have the e-commerce icon, so e-commerce is what we need. So school/education, I think those are important. So I think this school thing might be pretty interesting. Let's go into there. So this education X, I don't know if I've seen this one yet. Let's take a quick look. Interesting. No, we did see this one. This one's the education. We can look through everything and then let's open it up. Yeah, we've seen this one already. Okay, well, this is pretty cool as well. So let's just take a look. Okay, this one has a snap on the right hand side. That's also pretty interesting. Let's take a look at this thing and then let's see how this one looks. Okay, so this one opens up like this. How does this work? Okay, this is just showing off their projects, and then okay, the pricing is just like this. Now I need to have per product pricing, so unfortunately that doesn't fit what we need. That's fine. Let's also close this. We saw that already. We don't need that. Okay, so school I think is pretty interesting. Let's take a look at this school one. This entrepreneur one might be interesting. Academy might be interesting. And I think we're already starting to see a few of them that are hitting us. We've seen them before. So let's open them up. So what's this? Okay, this is... Okay, so these are different courses. You can open it up. What happens in here if I open it up? Okay, it does lag a bit. The right hand side doesn't stay sticky, but we can build that really easily. That one I'm not worried about at all. What does join a class do? That one goes up. Let's see what this does. I add, okay, again, it gives me a pop-up on the right. Interesting. I kind of like this page. This page is interesting to me. I like that this page looks clean, but yeah, I think this might be the one we go with. Actually, this might be pretty interesting. This might be the one we go with. Let's take a look at this one as well, and let's see. Oh, this one's pretty cool also. So let's look at our courses. Again, we're not exactly going to be using this for courses, but we just want to get a few components to start us off with that help us, you know, get started with building this website. Okay, this is sticky. Again, like we mentioned, we like that. This one has also a section that has this. What does this have? I wonder if this also has the same for the entrepreneur one. If I open this up, is there anything in there that screams out at me that I like? So let's open it up. Okay, no, they don't have that. Okay, I think I'm almost certain we're going to be going with this Academy one then. I almost think this is the one we want. Let's just go back here. Let's just take a look. Again, we don't have to take every component, but what we're trying to do is to save time on building this. And again, if you're looking to build an e-commerce site, I'm assuming that you already have some kind of model validated. If not, go watch our videos on how to create a Notion website. But the idea here is that we should ideally have pretty good idea of what we want to do and good validation of the market, and therefore we can go ahead and just build. Awesome. So we have a question in the chat on why do you prefer webflow over WordPress. So just to talk a bit about the website building journey that I've been on already, I first started off with having like a Notion webpage just hosted on their domain, so notion.so, and this is a public site, and that was the start, right? And from there I evolved into doing it with a Cloudflare worker. If you're not familiar, there's a cool project called Fruition that basically helps you host sites onto Cloudflare and have your own custom domain and stuff like that. And that's what I did for a while. And then I did a WordPress site for the Coix3 family website. The performance was not really nice. I had like 60 lighthouse scores on Google, which just means it loads very slow, and the fetching of the data takes a while. And from there I tried building custom websites. So I did build a custom website, for example, for my own website. This is a custom website also powered by Notion. Notion is the backend for our writing, for the content management in here. And I will come up with an updated guide, by the way, for anybody who's interested on how to use this with the Notion API, the official API. And then now I just went to Webflow because I think Webflow is much more superior in just building, drag and dropping, and just simplifies a lot of the SEO and performance issues. And it's not that expensive. I just want to be clear, like from what I found, it's not that expensive at all. If you are already running, a pretty good business on the internet. So yeah, that's the idea. Cool. So this is what we're going with. And again, I'm making the investment here because I think it's worth saving the time of building all these components and making sure that everything is responsive, anything like that. Just not worth the hassle, in my opinion. So let's go ahead and pay for this. I will switch my camera view while I do that so I don't expose my credit card details. Let's go ahead and make sure I can do that. Let's actually make sure I can get to that page first. So let's go ahead and right here. So I'm purchasing this, and then I'm going to go. Okay, I think my credit card's already on there, so I don't need to. Okay, so let's go ahead and just pay for this. Perfect. And then we're going to call this one Coix3's Toolbox. I'm going to create this project, and then let's get started. So right now there's still around 10 minutes left on the clock, 12 minutes left. So let's see how far we can go on our checklist, and just remind you guys on our checklist, replicating that inside our projects. So we want to do these first two things in our first 30-minute chunk. Okay. So I'm going to close everything else. Just make sure I have a nice and clean workflow for myself. And the first thing I like to do actually is just to make sure I have a master copy of this template, because I want to make sure I don't lose anything, even if I end up, doing things wrong. And you can press duplicate here, and then you can duplicate this. And I don't need to copy anything. This is fine because it's not going to be hosted. This is for the same. Okay, so I have a limit. Okay, never mind. So I need to do it later. But something I want to show you guys actually is later on, if you want to ever revert back to changes, there's always a backup. So you can always go to the original template, as long as you have a plan on this. So I think it's fine, actually, you can go back. But why I wanted to have that on a duplicated package, which I will do in a second, actually, once I, at the end of this, but is because I have the ability to always revert back to the original version of the system if I have a component that I deleted by accident or anything like that. So that's also pretty good. Anyway, let's see what we have here. Let's take a quick look and see what we have. Uh, Obviously, I liked the courses page. This was the page I liked. And I might even make the decision, and this is where you guys can start thinking about this for your own sites, right? Do you want everything under one domain? So for example, our Coix3 website has one domain. It's coix3.com, and it's just generally information. You can see our blogs are written here, everything like that. So it's quite nice. But do we also want our toolbox to be within this one page, or do we want it to be on a separate domain? And my gut feeling is that it should be on a separate domain, just because it takes you out of the experience and puts you into a page where you're, just dedicated to look at that kind of thing. Whereas this is more like a community, like why join our community? Why are we cool? Why should you be part of our family? Stuff like that, right? And for my take on this is, you should have a specific page for every single thing that you do, and for every single big thing that you do. And what I can show you in terms of examples is lots of different, creators, they have a different site for their website and also for their merch site, right? And you can kind of think it like that. So going back to here, so I liked this stuff, and what I want to do is to redesign this page to match at least what we have in the toolbox homepage, and then just make sure we have everything that we need, right? So the main thing is I want to have this section be the reason why they're here. I wanted to have one big section talking about what so I wanted to have one big section highlighting a specific package. So maybe L control is what I want to highlight. So I might build a custom components later on to show you guys how I would do that. And then I'll have all the different, all the different items that I want to promote inside this page, which will mirror what we have here. And of course, we might also have some new sections specifically for our free stuff that we're providing to our community. And I think that's also just going to be like a filtering system here and there. All right, that's pretty cool. I like it. So far, so good. Let's start porting information over and just seeing how that process will go for you. Again, if you don't have content yet, that's fine. Write the content you need. But again, what I'm showing you here today is basically how do I build step by step. And if you have the content already, which you probably should before even going through this process, you would have a very good idea of how to start. Okay, cool. So let's start taking some content and sticking it into this page. And we can always make the decision to move this whole page into our main site if we want to. So I don't think that's a big problem. So for now, let's just build here. Let's just see how it looks, and then we'll go from there. Okay. So what I want to do first is duplicate this page, because again, I'm just very cautious of destroying what they've created already, and just in case I want to revert. Okay, so I've already also hit the maximum pages of the site because it's on a free site. Well then, lots of limitations until I decide to upgrade the hosting on this site, and that's totally fine. I understand that. So right now what we want to do then is just ensure that we have everything we need, and then just start pasting things in. So let's go ahead and go here. So I want to have this tagline. It's time to take action on your learning. I want to put that here. And let's take a look what the font is for everything. So the font right now is Jakarta Display. I'm going to go and see what the font, how I can change the font on this whole thing. So I believe I can go here, just double check. Okay, got it. I need to go into here, go into body, I believe. So I need to go to selector body. And then let's see if I can change the font for everything into Inter, because that's the font that we use. So they don't have the font Inter for us. So I'm just going to go into the dashboard and add Inter. So Inter, perfect. That's the font we want. And then we're going to add this font. And we also probably want to just add everything about Inter. So let's go back into Inter. Oops. Let's delete this, go back into Inter, and then we want to just get a few more variants just to be safe. Let's go take all the variants, add the font, perfect. So we have Inter now. We're going to go into here. We're going to refresh to see if that changes anything for us. And someone's asking, do you have a course that shows me how to make a website like Coextreme with Notion and Fruition? I do actually. And it's not a course, it's completely free, it's on YouTube. I'll link it in the chat. If someone else can link in the chat for you, that'd be great. But if not, during our break in 5 minutes, well, I'll link it for you, okay? Not a problem. And so I'm coming back into here, and then I'm going to, like I said, go back to the highest selector on the body and just change all the font to Inter. Perfect. And then I'm also going to go into the headers and make sure everything's Inter as well, which is great. Perfect. And then I'm going to see that it looks a bit wonky. I'll be very honest. I don't like it. So we're going to make sure that our letter spacing, let's get rid of our letter spacing here. I'm going to letter spacing. I want to make this normal. Okay, so that looks a bit better. And then I want to make sure that, so the height also looks weird, I think. The height also looks pretty weird. Okay. And then let's put this content in as well. So we have this right here. And let's just paste it in, and then we're going to notice like how bad it is, right? So it's quite long. We can see that right now it doesn't look nice at all. There's too much content here. So let's start imagining what we want to do differently. Do we want to have text on the left, and do we want text on the right as well? Is that how we want to break down this layout? And what do we want in the hero? And just for everyone who doesn't know, hero section is everything that's currently on this page. It's everything above the fold before you scroll down. So generally the idea of the hero section is to really engage the audience and make sure the audience knows exactly what they're about to get into and why they should get into it. So generally I wouldn't have this big paragraph chunk down in here. I might just delete that now because it doesn't make sense. That big paragraph chunk is just too intrusive. And in my opinion, it should just be very big, time to take action. I might even break down this section and give some more width to here. So you can see that there's a split content kind of thing here where let's take a look at this wrapper and see how it's breaking down this content. So let's take a quick look. Looks like this has a max width that they've defined, and I wonder if I change this max width, and again, you should just experiment, right? It's a new site for everybody. So I change the max width like that, and then here, this content. Oh, again, it's very interesting. They didn't do any flex boxes or anything like that. So it's something that we have to adjust manually, which I really don't like because you can make a lot of mistakes when you adjust manually, which I'll show you later when we go into like, you know, different views. Like if we go to mobile and stuff, make sure everything works, right? Cool. One thing I want to do here also is add some padding on our margins on the bottom. So I'm going to add a margin, 20 pixels perhaps, just so that it has the spaces behind this. So we can see this time to take action on learning and then start now or something. Okay. I'm also going to change the whole color scheme to the color accent that we want. And you can see webflow has something really cool here where you can link certain colors so you can edit the swatch. And for us, we're using the Notion red actually as the Notion red. So let's take a look at what this red actually is. And I believe we can do that with an eyedropper. So if you ever want to know what a color is on a website, just go get an eyedropper tool, eyedropper extension. If you're using Chrome or in our case Brave browser, just get any eyedropper and it works. So this is an eyedropper extension. Let me use this, get eyedropper. Let's see if this one's good. This one's 4 stars, don't really like that. There's one I used to use, Colorzilla or something. So Colorzilla, I think. There we go. This is something I want. So I'm going to install this for Chrome. And again, 4.5 stars, 2 million users. I think it's pretty good. Let's add this extension. And then once we have this extension, we can basically go to any website, for example, our toolbox, and we can go and just double check what that is. So I have this Colorzilla thing on our bar, and then you can see something's popping up on the top there. very annoying actually. And then we can just see what the site is. So for this site specifically, because we're wrapping it inside super.so, which is just another wrapper for the Notion site, I'm actually not able to click it, and that's fine. What we can do instead is go to our page here, which this is the same red. So we're just gonna grab this red if that's possible. That's also not possible. Wow, that's really interesting. I wonder if it's because I need to refresh the page. Let's see. Ah, okay. It's because I needed to refresh the page. So you can see I can find this red color. So just figure out what that is on the page. My page is a bit desynced. So let's go ahead here. Okay, so it seems like it's this color. And then I'm just going to paste that into this accent swatch so we can go ahead. And this also has a Chrome extension, but I just like the other extension better because you can use it anywhere you like, not just in this application. So you can see everything changes to red. Looks pretty cool, and we're going to press save. Okay, it's time for our 5-minute break. We just did 30 minutes of work, so we're doing a 5-minute break. I'll talk a bit to chat, answer some of your questions, and also most importantly, recap what's been done already. And I think this is always a really good process for anybody who's building anything, because it gives you the good chance to just reflect and make sure that what you've been building isn't too off base and you're still on track for your timeline. So just to talk about, we found a suitable template or design we really liked. We purchased it as well. Again, up to you if you want to purchase it. If you just want to learn how that one looks, it's totally fine. But again, for me, I'm seeing it as building all those components will probably take me longer than a few hours. So therefore, I will rather take the components that's already built out already and build on top of that, save me time. Replicating inside our projects. So we put it into our own projects. We're still making the decision. So we're going to make some notes now. We need to make the decision if we want to keep this page on a separate domain or to move it under our coextreme.com website, which we can. It's just our decision whether or not we think that that's going to be helping our SEO, which we'll also cover in a little bit. And also if that'll help the experience, right? Should we have a lot of things going on from, checking out the community to looking at blogs, everything inside our page, are those things that we need to see? And then the next thing is changing the wordings to fit what we have to tell the world, which we're already starting to do, which is great, right? And then later on is adding custom components, but we also have to do adding pricing or adding checkout flows and integrating with Stripe. So that's important to do. So just to answer that person's question, do you have a video or a course that teaches you how to make a website? We do. So I'm just going to go ahead and show you that. So let me go and see if there's a video I can direct you to really easily right now. Let's see. I'm going to search our videos, and I believe it's building websites. There you go. This one is what you want. I'm going to add to tail tally. There you go. Here you go. Perfect. So we have just about 2 minutes left on our break. We can use this time to, again, plan a bit more about what we want. And just to kind of take a look at this, I'm going to have this section just be the hero. I'm going to add some kind of image that represents taking action on your learning. I believe we already have an image that talks about that here, just like this. So I like this image. So I might just take an expanded version of this image and use that for our image. So let me log into Figma now. Figma is another tool, free tool, by the way, that we use to sketch out really cool images. So let me just open up my Figma and make sure I'm logged in so I can show you what I'm looking at. So we have this Figma thing. I want to make sure I can log in. So I'm going to open a new tab. All right, cool. So I'm going to log in. make sure I have access to this. Perfect. Perfect. So this is where we build all our different illustrations for the website. Again, everything's been custom built, but we have a really nice library that helps us build all these really cool people. So we have this expanded action thing, which is probably what we're going to take. We're going to take this picture and we're going to put it on that main page just to match the aesthetics of our whole experience here at our website. Again, remember to drink water, keep yourself hydrated. It's really important. And we're going to get started in 10 seconds. And then we're going to get into the next phase of our build, which is just slotting in content and just making sure that everything we want is where we want it and playing around with the puzzle pieces, right? Suppose that. Okay, cool. Timer starting now, another 20 minutes, 25 minutes. So let's click on that and we can start. Awesome. So as I mentioned, this image needs to be replaced. I'm going to replace this image. I'm going to upload it into here. So we have the image we just got out. So we send that into there. Perfect. So it's time to do the action. This nice little pop-up guy. He's looking happy. Let's do it. Do we also want this to be bolded and underlined? Maybe we do. And how you can do that is highlight this, add wrap with span, and then in this text span, we can change the color specifically. So we can say this is this color, and then that has that. We can also add a declaration for underline. We can see how that looks. I don't like it personally, so let's just pick that away because I think start now is fine. Or I think actually this red might not be too bad. We'll keep that there for now. I'm not loving it, but we'll keep it there for now. And then what we can do now is have a section that has this information, right? So now let's start building a custom section. So we have a section here already. What we want to do is duplicate this section and rebuild it with what we want. So let's duplicate this section. What we can do is on the left side, just Control C and then Control V, and I believe that makes a new one. Perfect. And what we want isn't the background or anything, but what we want is to have, so actually let's take a look. This section, latest courses. Okay. So we need this to have a new component. So section, we're going to call this intro sequence. Intro. So we're going to add a new class to it, which helps us distinguish it from everything else. We're going to take away all the content stuff in here because I don't think we need it. So course hero wrapper, we definitely don't need this one. And what we want instead, actually let me just double check what everything else has. There's a container default, that's a divider. We're going to open up the section. Again, it's very important to look into the new package wherever you get and just try to understand what's happening in there. Okay, so they always have section, a container, and then a wrapper. So container and then wrapper. So I might actually want to get the container, and then the wrapper doesn't do anything. Okay, that's perfect. So what I'm doing here is I'm diving into the left hand side and I'm trying to understand what it all means. And basically it means I can delete that section without any real issues. And I can put this container defaults into this section, right? I have this, and then I have this div inside the section where I can start putting content inside this div. Div essentially is just a building block inside any HTML page. So it's pretty easy to understand actually. So as we just did earlier, I want to take a paragraph and just copy it into here. So let's go into this, paste it. So now we have a divider and we have this thing. Oh, interesting. There's actually some element on this, some interaction element on this. So this actually does something. So let's understand what that does. So if I scroll down, okay. So this gives me a divider thing. And then I want to show this thing. Okay, it's not too bad. Actually, like it a little bit. I want to take away the divider probably. Like I don't need a divider. And I rather just have it stay as a section. Let's take a look. Yeah, right now it's a line. Maybe I'll just make it transparent for now. I'll make it 0 opacity. Oop. Nope, doesn't work like that. Okay, let's put this in here for now, and then we'll think about what to do with the divider later, because I do like that it scrolls up into view. So for now, let's take this paragraph and let's put this content in. And again, this is just a little introductory message, right? Which I really like to do because I want to make sure everybody who's looking into our toolbox know why they're here, right? And it's not necessarily to take everything that we're using and only use that, but rather give you an idea of what could be built with your system so you can build a better system for yourself. So do you know if Webflow allows for importing of HTML and CSS? Yes. Yes and no. Sorry, let me be clear. Yes and no. So if you have custom like JavaScript components, you can definitely use NCSS style sheets. You can use that and import that if you'd like. But the best part of it, in my opinion, about Webflow is the exporting. So if I ever feel like I want to make my own custom site, I can export all the content out. And that's something I really, really value. So that's perhaps something that I value a bit more than importing. But the options are there. I have to say I don't use that option like completely, but the options are there. Yeah, for sure. Okay, cool. So let's show you something what happened. Okay, I took it out of that interaction block, and I could tell it's an interaction block because of this electric sign. But basically what happens now is this doesn't pop up, and it's like, whoa, I want that to pop up. How do I make that pop up? So here's why, another reason why I purchased a template instead, right? So what we have here is we have that interaction, and we take a look at this tab. We can see that when elements scrolls into view, I want to slide to top. So let's see if I can copy that, right? So I can click on the plus, scroll into view, and then action, I want to say custom animation, slide into view, slide up into view, slide to top. Let's, again, I already forgot what it specifically was. So let's say slide to top is what we want. Great. So let's find slide to top, and there's a few of them. There's things like 0.3 seconds, etc., etc. So let's go back and take a look. I don't think it was any 3 seconds. I think it was just this one. Okay, slide to top. They look the same now. So I can now delete this because it's done. And then I can just show this, and now it pops up. I'm like, well, that's pretty cool. So if I have it, it pops up, and I can take a look at that. I might even push that more below the fold so that instead I have something here that just says, hey, scroll down to get more details or something like that, because I want this to actually be hidden until I scroll. It makes sense for me to scroll down and then see this and then go on to the next page. So that's really how I built that. So I might just have a very simple like downward arrow, and I'm actually also going to show you how I research something, because I'm pretty sure Webflow, someone has done this in Webflow already, right? So Webflow, I want to say hero, let's see, arrow down. Let's just see if there's anything like that. Directional down arrow. Let's see what this is. Okay, so this has that down arrow. And let's take a look. Nothing really nice yet. It's an accordion. No, that's something different. Someone's asking for an arrow effect. Okay, so there's a few things. For now, not really finding something that I like, but what I can do, actually, I just want to show you because it just came to my mind, is I can actually make this section take up the whole width of the page. So how you can do that is you can set a minimum width to be the whole view height. So what we do is minimum width, let's see, view height. Let's make 100 view height first, 100 view height, and let's see what changes. Nothing changes. Oh, sorry, not width, height, obviously. So 100 view height, So now it takes up the whole thing, and we're saving some space down here to add whatever we might want. But you can already see now that because that takes the whole page up, I can scroll down and then that shows in. Let me show that one more time because I think it's pretty cool. So I'm gonna make that whole thing up, and now it scrolls in right when I scroll into it. So pretty cool, just like that. So now I have a very dedicated hero section that, again, I can put more information like announcements, stuff like that. Maybe I'll have like, you know, limited time offer, stuff like that stuff. That could be pretty cool. But it's just giving me some real estate to work with. And we can go into here. There's another question is, who do you have to build the illustrations for you? I actually built them myself. As I mentioned before, there's this really cool Figma library that I use that helps me just customize any kind of avatar that I like. And I just put them together and then make something really cool out of that. Yeah, so I can talk a bit more of that later on during the break if you'd like. But good question. Thanks for asking. Okay, cool. So we have this little paragraph section. Again, we are already thinking about, okay, we want some kind of thing to fill up this blank space, but for now it's pretty cool. So we're going to keep going. And what we have here is, so we don't need to have these review sections because we're going to have them inside each of our products. So that's perfectly fine. So I like to have a how can we help section because that's my favorite thing to ask. How can we help? And then how can we be helpful? I think is better here. Be helpful. And then what we want to do is to have all these displayed. So let's start putting them in. So right now you can already see this is actually pulling from a database. So let's fill out our database a little bit with some of the information that we have. So people already can start editing them. So first of all, let's change this collection name. It's not courses, obviously. It's going to be packages, maybe templates. I don't know. Packages maybe is better. Let's just call it products. I think products is easier. And then right now you can see that they ask a bit of some questions inside here, and I'm just going to go in here and just see what's happening. So what does digital mean versus advanced? We'll find out in a second. Again, this is the first time actually I'm building a e-commerce site on Webflow as well. So I'll figure it along with you, but you can see it's pretty intuitive, right? I'm not doing anything too difficult, I hope. But L control system is something that I want to do. The slug is L control. And then we're going to have a description. I have a description: take back control of your life. Take back control of your life. Oh, and then we already have like beginner and stuff. I like this category thing, actually. This is really cool. So instead of beginner, I'm going to say this is probably intermediate. I'm going to replace this image, excuse me. And we have a few images that we've already created before. So I'm going to bring that up. But again, if you don't have that yet, that's totally fine. You can just find a few that work for you. So I'm going to my archive, I believe. Where am I going? I'm trying to figure out where my thing is in my file explorer. Let's see. Toolbox thumbnails. Toolbox thumbnail. I believe it's inside area, it's inside sharing. Or it's inside my media kit. Let's see. Media kits. I need to find my... All right, I'm having a little bit of trouble finding it. So what I'm going to do instead is just take it from this page, which is fine. Oh, actually, this might be cool. I'll show you guys the back end of this page. Yeah, let's just do that. I'll show you the back end of this page so you can just see where I'm actually getting it from and download it directly from there. So let me go ahead and just get that. So our toolbox page is right here. So I'll open it up. So you can see this is the actual Notion page, and this is the editable Notion page. I can just edit it and things will happen automatically on the website, which is pretty cool. Again, it's very good for a MVP. It's very good for a basic version. But what I want here right now is to just take that image. So I'm going to go into here, grab this thumbnail, download it. So let's download this thumbnail and make sure I have it. And then I can go into here, just save it. Okay, that's the first one down. We're going to call this one out control. And for our example, we're probably only going to do 2 to 3. So let's do that. Out control thumbnail. Okay, so that's the first one downloaded. Let's get the course as well. I think this will be a good example. So let's download this one. So let's get the level up course. So level up thumbnail. And then let's also take the be intentional one. Let's do this one as well. And the idea is that we just want a few examples to kind of see how items look before we really commit all the way into putting all the content in. We don't want to put all the content in until we're sure that everything works out well. So let's go into here. Again, I'm going to replace this image and I'm going to use the out control thumbnail. Perfect. And then the pricing for this, it's going to be, I believe, $49.99. What's this compare at price? That's really interesting. I'm really curious what that is. I'm just gonna put 300 and see what that does. Again, I like that they already have a lot of things ready for us. And just let me make 150 actually. It's not 149, 150. Okay, perfect. And then track inventory, don't need to. And I'm just going to press pub save. And then let's see how that takes a look. Again, like I mentioned, I'm going to build a few more just so that I can have them all side by side and I can see how they look. So level up course, and this one is just level up as our slug. By the way, guys, 10 minutes left on this Pomodoro, so I'm excited. Let's keep going. And then we can say learn how to visualize, plan, and execute. Then the image here that we're going to replace is going to be this be intentional bit. Oh, sorry, not be intentional. I already forgot what I was doing. This is for level up course. So level up. Perfect. I'm going to save this just like so. And then I'm going to go into here. Oh, before I save it, I need to change the price. So this one is going to be, I believe, $4.99. Perfect. $4.99. And I'm just going to compare it again at 1K. I'm really curious what this does. I'm not sure at all. Perfect. Oh, so these ones have downloads, so someone can get something after they purchase. So this is pretty cool. This is actually something that I need, so that's really good. So I can see that this has downloads. I'll check that out in a second. Actually, I will put all that content in later. Right now, what I'm curious is how the thumbnail or how the display card looks. That's one item. And then here I'm going to put in the last one, which is going to be the Be Intentional system series. And then this one is just Be Intentional. Amazing. Our description here is going to stay organized and do things that matter. And then we can get this Be Intentional template. And then this one is just going to be, I think, 49, compare 100. I believe the downloads. Okay, so very cool. Downloads, I can just click on that and that works. Really, really interesting. I also have to figure out how to do subscriptions in a second as well, guys. So that'll be pretty interesting. I'll figure out how that works on this platform. So, and by the way, I saw your question. I will answer your question in a sec during the break. So don't worry about that. Okay, so we already have here, look. So this is how it looks. It's not too bad. I kind of like it actually, because it keeps my order and I can have this kind of look like this. I like that a lot, and I think that we can decide how the sorting goes. If not, I'm sure we can. I'll figure it out. But so far so good. I like it. The intermediate events, I got to think about for our case, is that something that we want to highlight? And let's take a look at here. What we highlighted here was a bit different, right? This was highlighted like this. Okay, what I would think I would want as tags is if they're subscriptions or one-time payments. I want to see if that's something interesting. So let's add a tag to this. Let's see how tags work. Because we have this section here, intermediate. Okay, I think I'll actually replace the intermediate with the tag itself. Let's open it up and let's see what's different inside the page. So let's open this up and let's see. Okay, so the intermediate will go here. The intermediate goes here. That's fine. Lifetime access is already something that shows up here. And we can double check how that's displayed. So let's take a look at how that's displayed. How did they get that in here? So I go to products. And I'm going to L control system. And then I'm taking a look at our product here. And we're seeing that the custom fields, where did they get lifetime? Where are they pulling that information from? Okay, so that's one way you can find it in the actual information itself, or I can just click on this and just see where it's coming from. Let's see, lifetime access, course detail site. Okay, it's not getting it from anywhere. So this is just an example. So that's not actually getting it from anywhere, which is fine. We learned, we understand where that's what's happening there. So I think what I want to do now, since I know that that's what's happening, I want to go into the products page, go into here, and I'm going to add, or go into here rather, and add one more section to display different options. So this options has multivariants. I'm going to check what that does currently, but I can add a new field essentially that helps the user or the audience understand exactly what, if it's a subscription, if it's a lifetime access, one-time purchase, all those kind of things, and really give everyone a feel of what specifically they want to go into. So for me, I think that's the important distinguisher. So let's take a look. I'm going to make this an option, but I want this to be multi-select option. So let me just cancel that for a second. I want to see what I had before. So categories is multi-reference. So you're referencing your categories, and this is the intermediate. Okay, so I'm going to make a new section completely. So let's see if we can do that. No, so this only lets me do this. E-commerce is weird. I can't add a new collection. That's really interesting. Okay, if you're curious what's happening, it means that I wanted to make a new category section to define the user by. It seems like I can't. Well, that's really fine. At the moment, I don't really have a use for intermediate, beginner, advanced anyway. So what will be useful for me then is just to rename these to, what I care about, which is the subscription and etc. So let's take a look at this. So this is going to be subscription. So let's make that subscription, and then we're gonna call this subscription. I'm gonna save this. Advanced, I want to change this into a one-time purchase. And we might revert on this. It's okay, fine. It's good to, the reason why I like no code is because it helps us iterate really quickly without having to build a whole feature and then realizing we don't want it. So I really like that part about this. So one-time purchase, and this is lifetime access. Let's take a look and see what happens. So let's take a look and save this. And then if we go into our page again, we can go back into our home page. So let's go back into our home page here that we were working on. Again, nice, we can scroll down, and then we can, oh, actually, I already know what I want to put here. I'm going to make a custom component later that's going to show you how, stats, right? X number of downloads, different users using it, etc., etc. That's pretty cool. So we're going to go into here, and I'm seeing that we already have this one-time purchase, subscription stuff here. That's pretty cool. What I want instead is I want to make this look a bit better. So this one, let's see where it's pulling from. It's not pulling from anywhere, so that's totally fine. So I'm actually going to hide this because I don't want to just delete it just off the bat. And you can see when I hide it, it hides it from every single section. So that's really nice. I like that a lot. So what we can do here then is make this into a tag. And I believe the best way to do that is go to the levels list. Okay, level wrapper. Okay, I'm going to go into here. I'm going to add a background color here. So let's add a background color. Again, it doesn't really matter right now. I'm just going to add any random background color. Maybe we'll just do our main thing. And then what I want to do is, oh, and then the color later on, I can even make that dynamic. I can make that dynamic to what's inside. So that's gonna be pretty cool. Yeah, I can get the background color from products. Okay, so let's just put a background color for now. Any background color. I want to add some padding to it. So let's add some padding. I believe if I have like a 5 here, perfect. 5. I'm gonna add like a 3. Add a 3 below. I want to round the corners off, so let's add some rounded corners. And it's always best to be consistent, so take a look at what rounded corners this thing has. So I'm going to go up, 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 up to the main thing. Let's see, rounded corner, courses grid, collection list wrapper. But let's see where the rounded corner is nested here. 20. So 20 is the rounded corner. So I'm going to go into here and make sure I have 20 as our rounded corner as well. And then 20. Oh, it's a bit too much for this section, maybe. We'll see. So it's maxed out at 20. So therefore I'm going to add a bit more padding on both sides. So let's get it to 10 on padding on both sides. So we already have a nice little tag. And then what we can do here is also change the text color to make sure the text color, I can read it. So right now the text color is gray. Let's make it white. Okay, so it's not gray. I need to go into the actual text itself. It's level text, and let's make this white. Perfect. So it's already looking pretty good. I want to go ahead and make this a bit taller, so 5 by 5, and then we can see that looks really good. And then we can just move that price down or up, or maybe we just make this shorter if we like the one time. So this is our break time. We're going to take a 5-minute break, kind of recap what's been done and make sure we're still on track, and I'll also answer some questions from the chat. And Alyssa, good to see you here. I think making a portfolio site is really cool, and curious to hear what platform you're doing it on. And I think it's your first website, right? So first question is recommendations on the best way to learn how to better use webflow. So I have a really interesting building philosophy that I'd like to share with you guys. My philosophy on building anything is build what you need. So I generally don't like to go on Skillshare or any kind of course website and just learn general information. It's not useful for me. I don't retain it as well as if I was searching for something specific that I need to solve. So let me give you an example. So recently we made a application. We made a whole new app for connecting to the Notion API and essentially displaying out your levels. And the way that I built this was to use a technology called Next.js, which is basically React. It's an abstraction of React. It's JavaScript. And I also used a database called PostgreSQL, so SQL, learning SQL. And I used to do a lot of, I used to watch a lot of different courses on how to code, right? I used to learn about Angular and React and just different, coding technologies. And I never really retained much of it, to be very honest, because I didn't have any project to work on it immediately. So what happened, I built this in like around 7 days, and I'm still building more on it, obviously. But what happened was, as I was building, problems came up. And when I had problems coming up and I wanted to solve them, I went to go and search for how to solve that problem. And that's essentially my process, right? So what I recommend actually, if you want to get better at a certain tool, is start using it and then Google specifically what you want to resolve from there. So for example, I did not know how to make these tags previously. I Googled that and now I do, but I only learned that very specific skill set because I had a use case for it, right? So that's kind of what I want to share with you and talk about. And Vaya, yes, thank you for the site. Yeah, this looks pretty cool, and I'm really excited for everyone to get started. I will be releasing the link in around 12 hours for our community to enjoy. We're having the launch at the end of the month, so yeah, I'm excited to have everyone get involved and see how they can start gamifying their life and seeing their work come to fruition. So remember to drink water, guys, very important. Perfect. So again, as I like to do, I'm going to talk a bit about what we've done so far and make sure that we're still on track. So we're changing the wordings to fit what we need to tell the world. I think we're doing that, but we need to move faster on that. I don't think we're moving fast enough and really putting everything in, because our last section is definitely going to have to do the checkout flows. And we definitely need 30 minutes just to understand how payment works on the system. So right now, what we really need to do is change those wordings and get custom components. This is our next Pomodoro chunk. So let's break that down. So we have chunk number 1. We can have it like that. And then we have chunk number 2. We have this like this here. And then we'll have chunk number 3 that's breaking it down. Chunk number 1 and 2 was here. Chunk number 1 plus 2. Chunk number 3 is what I hope 2 plus 3 is what I hope to solve here. And then chunk number 4 is what we need to really have dedicated time on. So we have some custom components that we want to build. And we might not have to. I'm going to double check if they have, but basically like a metric section in Hero. At the bottom of the hero. We shouldn't really build anything more custom. I think we have enough custom things, but that's one more custom thing that I did want to build. And then yeah, I think that's gonna be good. So just to recap, we have 15 seconds to start, but what we want to do is populate the rest of our different products. Make sure that the product detail page is also populated, and then see how we can go forward with that. Okay, cool. Let's get started. 25-minute work. Let's go. So first thing I'm already noticing is that these ones wrap, this one doesn't wrap. So let's wrap that so we at least have some more consistency. I also see that one-time purchase is super long. I don't like it at all. So let's make that longer. And we also realized the collection list probably needs some kind of background. I didn't get the background color from the collection list. So I'll explain all that. Let's get into it first. So first thing, we want to go to products, our control system. Let's just add some, it's time to take back control of your life. It doesn't really matter. I'm just adding some additional details just to make it look good, because I want to ensure that it's, makes sense. So instead of one-time purchase, one time works. Click save on that. For categories, we're going to add one more field. We're going to add a color. So this is going to be background color. BG color. And then we're going to save this field. We're going to save this collection. And then we're going to add, instead of lifetime access, we're going to say lifetime. And then we're going to go into here and we're going to make sure that we have our background colors. So subscription might be, again, I'm just going to use random colors for now that look okay. Later on, we can make sure that that works well, because we are on a time crunch. We are having a challenge. It's about MVP, right? So subscription, we're also going to have this background color one time. Just want to see how that looks. One time background color. Save that, and then lifetime, maybe we make that into a nice shade of blue. So we're going to make that nice shade of blue right around here, probably. Save. Cool. Let's take a look what just happened. We're going to go into our tag here. We're going to find this card image wrapper, this accent, right? We're going to go into here and get the background color from products. We're going to connect into, how come there's none here? I need to double check. Current products, references. That doesn't make sense. Let's take a quick look. It's because we didn't publish it yet, perhaps. So let's publish it. Let's publish it to that selected domain. I just want to make sure that it does work, because it doesn't make sense that it doesn't. So it's published. I'm going to go back into here and just make sure that the products works. So I'm going to my products control, and then I can tag the subscription, and then I click save. I go to categories. I'm going to subscription, and it works as well. There's a BG color. Maybe it's the naming of that. We'll double check. But this is how you all can also just make sure you are double checking your work. So let's take a look. This is where I want to go. No. Okay, I know what's happening. I need to go this level wrapper. And then I need to find this. Where is that background color that we were just on? So levels list, levels text wrapper, levels text. No, none of these. That's an empty state. That's fine. I'll find that later and edit that later. Is it this? No, that's too far up. Where is it? There you go. So, oops, that took a while. So level wrapper is where I want to go. Background color, still not finding it. So let's make sure that I renamed it properly. Maybe it's a bug to make sure I don't have that underscore. So let's take a look. I don't think this is the case, but we'll see. Background tag color. Let's just save this field. Save collection. And because what we have here is, okay, we'll figure it out later. I'm sure we can figure that out. That's very strange. I don't know why that I can't pull the color from there. Anyways, for now it looks pretty decent. So what we want to do is just to make sure that everything works. So we have the paragraph, we have these things, great. Now let's get into one of the pages. Let's get into out control, for example, and make sure that we are filling out everything. So okay, we already see that there's some things here, so that's perfect. We can go ahead and make sure that this gets to be edited. So we can see that our description ends up here. These things come into here. I think these things should just be static. I think these are fine. So online videos, monthly resources, active community. We don't have one-on-one mentorship. That's fine. This is the course teacher, and I think this is just something that I have to change. And I think the course teacher doesn't even matter here, or I guess it could be the creator. That's fine. There's a video that we can link to. That's also pretty cool. I think that's really good stuff. And then we have the about the course. So what we want to do first is, because we have content for about the course, let's go paste that into there first. So I'm going to go to products, out control system, about the course. So let's go into here. And then we have course content 1, course content 2. Very cool. They've already broken it down very nicely. So let's take this information, let's paste it into here. And I'm going to take away that image. I might put another image there later on, of course, but for now, let's paste this. Let's put this image, let's put these bullet points in. And then I'm going to go ahead and do that. Let's just quickly press save because I just want to see how that's changed the page already. So that's perfect. That's already giving me some nice things to work with. I probably want to do some bullet points there instead. So let's go ahead and do some bullet points. So let's do some bullet points. Products. Let's do some bullet points. It'll be nicer here. So let's take that away. Let's make this into bullet points, which I can do by pressing the plus button, press the bullet points, and then have that like so. bullet points, save that, and let's see what happens. Perfect. I like this a lot. And then, so it's not about the course, about the products, I think, about the, oh, and then here we can also make this dynamic. That could be really cool. That could be really cool. And let me show you how that works. So I can wrap this with a span, right? And then I can make a collection list out of that. So I can make it so that I wrap this with a collection list. I believe it's right here, collection list. Let's see, collection list is right here. And then I'm going to add it under where we just had. Where is it? About the... Actually, no, that's not what I want. I want to get this item. Okay, where is it? Collection list wrapper. This is what I want. Collection list wrapper. Because that can give me the information for this specific page. Course teacher wrapper. Can I just copy and paste them? I don't think so, right? Okay, I can. So I'm going to put it into here. I'm going to put that into this title. I'm just showing you an example of why I'm spending time on this, is because I do think it's pretty cool. So let me just show you guys. So I think though, this has a lot of formatting on it already. Yeah, it has some formatting on it already, which is fine. I'm just going to take away that formatting. So I want to delete that. And then I'm going to delete this, delete this, delete this, and delete this. And then I'm going to put in the title inside of that div block. Perfect. And what that means is now I believe I can have a custom attribute here. I can get some information from products. That's a rich text block. Okay, I can just do a rich text block as well. Interesting. Okay, well, I'm learning as well. Let's figure this out. So what I want to do here, let's take away that block. We don't need it. We want to go into here. We want to add a new rich text block. Apparently that can work as well. Interesting. So rich text block, let's see what that does. I'm not certain that that works like that. I'm really curious how come theirs can just be like this. But yeah, I mean, if so. Okay, we get this text from products. We're going to get the course. Okay, so we don't have that information yet. So let's go into our products. Let's add a new item. So we're going to also get information on a variant, which is going to be, what is it, right? So type, I need type. I don't think they have type yet. Description, categories, type, they don't have type yet. Identifier, quantity. Okay, so they don't have type. So let's go add type. So I'm going to add a new field. We're going to call this one type. Oop, what is this new field? It's a, let's make it a plain text. Let's call it type. It's a single line. We're going to save this field. Let's just see if this works. I'm really curious. I'm also experimenting on this. So type is now at the bottom. So let's call this a template. And then we can call this a Notion template. Maybe more clear is better. We can save this. We can go back to our pages. And now here in this rich text thing, we can make this get the information from has to be rich text now. Interesting. I think that still can work. Let's go make that into rich text. So products, and then we can go into inside here. We have our type. Let's change this type into rich text, which doesn't work obviously. So let's go ahead and add a new field. Just call this type rich text. Type rich text. And then we're going to call this, we're just going to save this. And then if we go to our control system, I believe we can just do the same thing here. We call this a Notion template. There is a reason why I didn't want it to be rich text. I might go into that later, but for now, since we're just trying to hack it together, let's just get as fast as we can, right? So this still doesn't show that new information. I think it's because we haven't upgraded this plan yet. I think I might need to upgrade this plan to start editing all these different things, because it doesn't make sense that I can't select the information that was previously there. But anyway, I will show you how that works. Because what I wanted to do was make sure that this about the blank was going to pull from our database instead of being, so it would be dynamic instead of something that we have to change, because it'll be static on every single page, right? Anyway, let me just show you. So we're going to keep building this. Again, I'm just showing you some ideas of how things may change and things may be added. So we have about the course. Again, all these things should not be course. They should just change, like about the template. And if it's a course, it should be about the course. So that's really important. Let's go into the second tab and let's see what's shown in there, course content. So this is information on what they will get. So I think that's something important as well. And I think this actually is displaying in a different way. So let's move the tab panel to tab 3. So let's go to active tab 3. Okay, so both sides is taking information, and in this case, I might do something different here, because you can see in our system, we have quite a lot of information here that we want to showcase, that we want to present perhaps in a different way. So I'm going to show you how I present information like that. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure I can do that. So let's go into our pages, or rather our products, and then we go and open it up, our control. So we have a rich text here, I believe. This is a rich text. So we're also going to paste the stuff that I just have from here. So the first thing is to be intentional. Awesome. So this is header 1. And then this is start with Y, blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to copy and paste everything here and just see how that looks already. So it already gives me my images as well, which is awesome. And then everything's there. So let's take a look at this. We'll save this and then we'll see how it's destroyed the page, because it probably would, right? This is giving us, we're just putting in content that doesn't fit there yet. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is definitely move this column down. I don't need it to be a column, I think, actually, and I want this to be just top and bottom. I want to be able to just continuously scroll down this page. So let's go ahead and do that. And I want to also just double check. Okay, I might actually want this to be on this main page, because the course content, or again, whatever we call it, about, let me just rename this because it's bothering me, about the template, templates content. Yeah, template content makes sense. And then reviews is fine. What you'll get makes sense to me. Introduction. I think that becomes really clear. What you'll get, introduction, boom, 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 boom. Perfect. Okay, so this information, I like that I can display it here, but I don't like this thing on the side. And again, this is probably one of the last few customizations I'll build, because we don't have time for so much customization. We're trying to just hack it and get it out there. But I just wanted to show you like what you could do if you wanted to, you know, customize it, make it more suitable for your own use cases. How would you customize a template and how would you make it your own? I think that's always very important. Okay, so I think this is something that I just need to press vertical and it's done. Boom, it's on the bottom. That was pretty easily. Okay, and then what we want to go is go here, because obviously header 1s are too big, and just make sure that these headers 1s are becoming headers 2s or 3s even. Header 3, header 4, let's go. Header 4, header 4, is header 3. Header 3. What's this? Header 3. Okay, that looks pretty good. We'll save this for now and just take a look and then make sure that we're on the right track. Looks pretty good. I think this is fine. This should be header 2, I think. Header 2s are fine. Header 2s and header 3s. Okay. If you're not understanding what I'm doing right now, I'm basically just making sure all the different pages or all the different header components fit within the page. And I'm just keeping with their formatting. I'm not reinventing the wheel. I'm just keeping what they have, and I'm just changing the styles that they already have defined. So header 3 is a style that they've defined. They're saying like, hey, header 3 should be this size, should be this big. All right, cool. And I see that this header actually could be bigger as well, because now that this is hitting that. Actually, yeah, so this is header 4. This should be header 3. All right, cool. Well, basically we have a basic idea of what we have, right? And let me just do one final customization of this, and then we'll move on for now, because I do want to show you just as an example how to get started, right? So this should be header 4, I believe. Header 3 at least. I should have some spaces between these things. These things should be full width. I want a numbered list here, so let's give me a numbered list. Okay, that's a numbered list. Perfect. This becomes full screen, and then I'm ready to go. Press save, and then I have this section really nicely done. I don't know why that's doing that. I will edit that later on, I think, but I don't even need that. For now, let me just make that into just bullet points. I think that's fine. Yeah, just make that into bullet points. Okay, let's make that into bullet points. And then here we'll say content. Actually, even for this, we can just hide this. I think for now, I'm going to hide this image for now, because, or that section for now, we don't need it. And then this title, we can make this white as well, so that we can read that better. And we can take away the subscription. We can just have that there, or I can just hide that again because I might need that. Oh, never mind. Undo that. Just delete this course detail text. Make that blank. Or just delete it completely. Perfect. And then access from any device. And then let's take a look. That's pretty cool. Downloadable files. Boom, 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 boom. Looking very good already. I think last thing to do is to do reviews for this page. And also, of course, for now, I'll keep that, or I'll change the person to myself. Just for the creator, I'll probably use creator here. But let's go to reviews and let's see what we like there. So review section. Okay, so they give you options for 3, and thankfully we have plenty of reviews that we can use. So let's go ahead and go into our section here for our products. Again, our control system. We scroll down to the bottom here and we have these review sections. So I'll just take one from here as an example. Let's take a look at this. Course review text right here. And then we're going to have Nelvis. Thank you very much, Nelvis, for this. Let's just see how that looks. And I'm going to press save. Let's take a look. Go back into my page. And it doesn't show. Interesting. So let's see why. Did I save already? Okay, it's there. Just a second. So for my use case specifically, I might even add one more section below. And okay, here, this is going to be the golden moment. If I can duplicate this, right? And then if I can add a dynamic field on that, then I know that it works or not. So let's see. Okay, so I can see everything. Got it. Perfect. I'm going to remove this. I'm going to duplicate this class, and then I'm going to call this reviewer title. Okay, so we know where they're from. And then in this case, I'm going to make this smaller. I'm going to make this into a 20, maybe an 18 size, because I want this to be their title. And then I want to remove the padding from the top, or at least put it like at 5, so that it becomes right below. And then what I want to do now here is go to the products and then add a new section. So you can see like there's review text name, review name 1. I'm going to add one more thing that's just going to say, let's call it a plain text, because that's fine. Course review name, review title 1. And then we're going to keep this like this. We're going to drag it right under here, so we know that that's where we want it. And then I just want to see an example here. And again, this might not work because we haven't paid yet for webflow, but we will do that as part of this process, because we need to set up the payments, and they don't let you go live without that. So we'll see how this all works, don't worry. Okay, so reviewer title. Okay, I'm going to grab the custom fields, reviewer title 1. Perfect. So it does work. Okay, I'm not sure why it didn't work before, but now we know that does work, and we'll just make sure that that is something we can do. So you can see already, like, this is how it kind of looks. Later on, you can even add images if you like that. Again, those are customizations that you can copy and paste from above. We have like this image section, so we can just see how that works. We can probably just duplicate that. Actually, I might even just show you. So I copied that into here. Let's just see if I can do this. I might not be able to, because again, some limitations, but let's just paste it into here. So instead of the course teacher name here, I'm actually going to grab the, okay, it does work. Okay, course review name 1. This one, I'm going to get course review name text title 1. And then this image, what we can do is grab the image from, okay, what we can also do here now is go into here, go into products. And then what we can do is add another new field. This is quite a bit now. It's getting a bit complicated, which is hopefully fine. We can say course review profile 1. Okay, so we want to save that. We're going to put that right into the section below or above the name, maybe. Go back into here and upload the image for Nelvis. So let's go ahead and save her picture. Nelvis. Okay, I'm going to go here, drag the new picture in, and then press save, and let's see what happens. So I press save, and then I can go into this image. I can go grab, okay, so this is already showing me difference. So get image. There you go. And then you can see that it's kind of skewing. So what we can do is make sure that it has a display of cover. So let's see how that is done here. Okay, because it's auto and autos. So if I have a square image, it'll be better. I will probably figure out, I should do that in my editing probably, actually, because that makes more sense. So let me just do that. The pomo ended, but I'm just going to finish this really quickly just so that we have this as an option. And then I'm just going to square it. Okay, going back to my image assets, I've just edited and made it a square. So I'm going to go into my products, go into this out control, and then just put this image, but more direct. Perfect. So I can press save. And you can already see like I'm just reusing elements from different sections, which again I really like doing because it makes it easy for you. So now you have this review and it looks perfect. And of course we can add our own name in the teacher later on. But the pommel is done and we're going to take a 5-minute break, talk about things and see where we're at, shall we? Okay. So if we look back onto here, we are currently adding custom components we needed. We added another one. We tried to add a few actually, which was dynamic naming of products in page. We also wanted to get the information about a profile image for reviewers. So we did this already. This is done. This we couldn't do yet, so we'll probably figure it out later. And then what we want to do is go and make sure the checkout flow works. Make sure someone can actually pay for your product. So for this example, I'm just going to stick with one product. Obviously, you guys can have more products later on if you'd like, but I want to make sure you can just get end-to-end for one product if you're following along this guide for building an e-commerce site. And I hope that throughout this process, what you're learning from me at least is how you can take something that's already been built, so a template, for example, right? And start working around it to build what you want. And part of it is having the imagination, of course, of like what goes where. You can see the page and you're like, okay, well, oops, you can see the page, you're like, okay, yeah, this fits here, this fits here, this fits here. But generally, really, I just want to give you the understanding that getting started can be really easy, and hopefully with the confidence that, hey, look at this guy, he built something in 2 hours. And of course I have some experience with web design, so it's not like I'm starting from zero, but these are all things that you can learn online. Like I'm all self-taught. I didn't go to school for this. This is something that you can learn by yourself as well, and I really think it's a good skill, right? Learning how to share about yourself online and show off to the world who you are, what you stand for, and hopefully, in this case, if you're creative, be able to make a living off of your work, which is something I'm really hopeful for everybody that is pursuing a creative passion can do. Okay, so we have 2 minutes left on our break. Let's talk a bit about what we want to build for our last pomo break, and then, our last pomo, and then just see where we can go from there. And again, it's really important for us to just get something that can go live when we want to. So I do want to make sure that the payment flow is all working before I add any more custom components. And that's actually something called like feature creeping. So as you keep building, you're like, oh my gosh, this looks really cool. Oh my gosh, that looked really cool. And then the features just keep building up and up and up. And again, if you have time, sure. But what you should do before you start building all these different features is just make sure that you have the most basic fundamentals, right? Don't lose your fundamentals because you're off trying to, add new things. So that's something I really want to just make sure that I'm communicating. I think that's something that we all tend to forget. It's not something, we just get excited about building. And again, I like that very much. You should definitely build and do more of that. But yeah, just try to keep your features under control and don't go too crazy with everything. I'm not sure where actually they're getting this teacher from, because I don't see teachers here. I was just trying to look for the teachers thing. Teachers is here, right? But I don't see where it relates to the product. It's just showing you everybody. Like this course teacher, it's just showing you everybody. It's not showing me the current products teacher, which is really interesting. Oh. Unless you guys saw it. Sophie Moore. Let's take a look at this products again. I'm going to Control F. Sophie. Okay, there we go. This is where it was. All right, cool. Not bad. I can add a plus here, I think. Nice. Let's add Conrad Lin. I'm just trying to see an example here. Let me take it with a dash of my name because I like it like that. I'm going to add my own image, and I'm cheating a little bit, guys. I'm working while on break, but I just wanted to add that in there while I had the chance. So let's add that image. Oh, that's a lot of stuff. Hack leader, lorem ipsum, lorem ipsum, lorem ipsum, lorem ipsum, and I'm just going to create, save, and then if I go back to our page, it should load in a little bit. Course teacher. Yeah, perfect. It loads. Very cool. I like it a lot. So let's start another 25-minute timer. Again, the main focus of this timer is to get the payments working and making sure that everything works as it should. And then we'll focus on like the minor touches, just uploading more stuff. But I just want to make sure that if someone wants to come in, and let's say if I, just removed everything, all the pages, right, which I could, I'll show you how to do that in the nav bar. If someone came in, they land directly on the course's homepage, are they able to purchase something today, and can they add to cart and do all those like fun things, right? Cool, let's do it. So setup guide, we added a product. Nice. Business address, do we have to do that? I think we do. Shipping method, that's fine. Cart, I think we have a cart. No, do we not have a cart? Yeah, cart works. Nice. Ooh, I think that's fake. Yeah, that actually doesn't do anything. Ah, interesting. Okay, cart doesn't do anything. Interesting. So let's figure this out. So we have e-commerce here. Okay, let's go. Let's call it Coextreme Family. We're going to put it into Singapore. That's where I am right now. Currency is US. That's fine. Can I skip the street address? No, I can't. So let me go grab the street address. And this is just our mailing address. So we can just put it into here. So this is 068914. It's interesting that the channel name is invalid because if it's Singapore, how do you know? That's really interesting, actually. That shouldn't be invalid at all because it's in Singapore already. Wow, interesting. So this is going to be our hiccup. That shouldn't be the case. I'm really interested about that. If I change this to Singapore, what happens? Nothing happens. Yeah, let's change it back to United States. Singapore. Yeah, okay. Either way, that's messing with my... Oh, there. Okay, I got through. I don't know what just happened there, to be honest, guys. I have zero idea what just happened there. But it worked, so it worked. Okay. So, the store name, let's call it Coextreme Toolbox. So that's pretty good. I'm going to save Toolbox. Payments, I'm going to connect Stripe because I want to make sure Stripe works. And I will share my screen if I make sure that it doesn't share any sensitive data. Yeah, so give me a second. Let me just make sure I can share my screen securely without any sensitive data. Okay, it's asking me for my authenticator code, so it needs that. And the purpose of this at this stage is I just want to show you how easy it is for you to get started accepting payments online. So I just want to make sure that, okay, it was really easy. All I needed to do was just log in. There was no, there's nothing complex about it. So connection is in progress. Let's close. So I believe Stripe now has everything enabled. So we can enable web payments. Oh, web payments is paid with browser. That's really cool. So this is essentially doing Apple Pay and stuff like that. Ah, very cool. Okay, save changes. So that's done. Let's see how checkout works. Enable checkout. Okay, so we need to add a hosting plan. Okay, so let me just make a decision now. Do we want to make a hosting plan now? And I think it's fine. Again, it's pretty cheap at $30 for the, I mean, if you think about the big picture. But the only reason why I'm hesitating on this specifically is because we already have a website plan. So let me just show you. If I go to our projects, we currently have this Code Street family page, right, which has a CMS plan. But what we could do is also add a plan for the e-commerce. And what happens is that I can now host it on this plan and basically just pay one time. I'm thinking about it a little bit. Let's take a look. So if I don't do annually, it will be 42. So it gets a little bit more pricey, but I think it's fine for what we're getting. But I just want to make sure that this makes sense for us. So I'm already on this. And if I change to, this, oh, I'm adding it anyways. Okay, it'll be adding it anyways. Oh no, wait, they're all, the name is all add. What does this do? Interesting. Okay, either way I have to pay. So it's fine. Let me just do this on a monthly basis first, just so that I can go ahead and continue this demo and make sure that we can start and build. And let's go ahead and no thanks, we'll do it later. Okay, so we're going to go back into this page and just make sure everything works. And let's go ahead. So now we have this. I'm going to go back to the page that we care about, which is going to be our courses. Perfect. And then what we're going to do here is I'm going to add the e-commerce stuff now. So payments work. I'm enable checkout. So let's see how that works. Save. Shipping, there's no shipping, it's fine. Later on, if when we do things like how can I say, when we do merch, I think it'll be good. Yeah, so support email should be support@coex3.com. You should always have a support email, guys. Make sure you have that. Just want to make sure everything is good. View setup guide. So shipping method doesn't really matter. We launched a store already. It's interesting. The cart doesn't work apparently. So let me make sure this I understand it right. So I'm going to publish it to selected domains. I'm going to open up this link. Okay, so once it publishes, it's going to take a second for the initial publish. Okay, let's open it up. We see courses here. And then it's interesting to me that the add to cart doesn't work. It does, yeah, add to cart does work. Okay, so if I check out, let's see what happens. So I can pay, I can place order. That's it. Guys, it took literally no time to make this payment system. That's crazy. You know, if you had to make a payment system from scratch, which by the way I'm building right now for our family connection, so like I'm building a payment system from scratch, it takes a long time. This literally took like 5 minutes and a few clicks. I am shocked, absolutely shocked. This is pretty cool, guys. I'm actually pretty excited about that. I was really anticipating this to be harder, okay? I was anticipating it to be much harder than this, so I'm very, very happy that it's so much easier than I thought. Again, most things are in life, actually. If you think about it, most things are much easier than you think, and you psych yourself out, you scare yourself a little bit before you go do it. But I mean, if this gives you any confidence that you don't have to psych yourself out, hopefully you know, it gives you some ideas. Okay, so let's do I can do an SVG later because it's getting a bit pixelated here, you can see that, but it's fine. So that's pretty cool. I'm going to remove a lot of these pages in the nav bar just because I don't care about it. For now, I only want people to be focused on the courses page. So for now, I'm actually just even going to hide this. I'm going to hide this whole section. We don't need it. Okay, this makes sense, but where does this take me? So courses. Oh, okay, so maybe call this products. How can we be helpful? Too long. Let's call this one let's call it products for now. I'm not in love with it. Let's call it products for now. I'm also going to hide all the other things that don't work, obviously. So let's go and hide those things that don't work, because I want to show you, like, by the end of this, end of all our promos, which by the way has 13 minutes left, you should really be able to just have about anything you want. So I'm going to save this as draft. So it gets out of my way. I'm also going to save this as draft. Okay, I know this stuff doesn't have any content yet. That's fine for now. I just want to make sure that everything works. I'm going to go into this page and then... Oh, okay, there's stuff in the bottom here. So there's some reviews section, which I will definitely keep. Why are templates? I probably will want to talk a bit more about that. And then... I don't know why this banner is here. They're already on this page. So where did they expect to take the user? Yeah, that's weird. I don't know why they expected, why they have this banner here. Because in my opinion, yeah, okay. So if I were to do this, which I am, I'm going to hide a few sections here. So I can delete this because it's a symbol. I can just, it's basically a global block. I can paste it anywhere I want, so I can just delete it without any real problems. I'm not going to do that, so that's going to hide everything. I'm actually going to just hide this section, so I'm going to make a new class called hide, and then I'm just going to hide it. Perfect. And then I'm going to add some content here that fits what I need. So I'm going to use the wordings we already used, so we don't have to reinvent the wheel. So transforming lives globally. I really like this sentence. So we have this here, transforming lives globally. And then we're going to take some of our wonderful messages here. Okay. Okay, Olga. So let's put Olga into here. Okay, we'll change the names to titles later at some point. And then we're going to switch to the second one. Let's go into here. And then this one also gets pasted into it, JSON. And then the last one is going to be our testimonial contents here. And then what we have is Grace's testimonial. So we're going to paste that. And then Grace. And it's interesting, you guys see that we actually lost some of the color as we went through. So we can recover that really easily. Just go ahead here and grab this title. Perfect. And then we can just put a dot 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 here because we don't have their information just yet. I think it'll be students, creatives, and etc. etc. So this will go up. If we want to, this will stay here. I really like this actually. I might add some additional elements here, but we already see that it's really shaping up. Okay, so what I want here as well. Okay, so a few things. The first thing is I want to make this the home page. So we're going to call this one products, and we're going to make this the home page. So let's call this products for now. I'm going to make this the home page. Okay, well, let's save first because we got to save. And then we're going to make this the home page, make home page. And then what we're going to do is we're going to make this, let's change the content. So Street Toolbox. It's time to take action on your learning. We're going to take that here. 10 plus Notion systems to help you get organized, productive, and make work fun. Built by the Code Street family. Okay, so that's really, really cool. This image, where's that getting that image from? Because we need to change this image because obviously that's not our image. Okay, here, this image is what we want to change. And for now, we can just take this image here. So let's take that. But later on, I'm very certain we'll do something like what they have, like the different screen caps or the different templates that we offer. But for now, let's grab that link. So I'm just going to this left side here, getting the link, copy the link, and then going to the page again, editing it, and then pasting that into here. Okay, so that's like that. And then I can add some custom code later for like chatbots and stuff. Right now, not too worried about that. I just want to make sure that I can go through like a demo flow. So already looking really good, guys. So this is already there. Jason, whatever. So this bottom part I will have to figure out. For now, I will hide the footer because I don't have anything in there just yet. So let's hide the filter. It's the footer. So it's just going to be one page design. And then lastly, before we launch, 7 minutes. Ooh, 7 minutes before we go live with this, we're going to also add a few sections. So there's some sections I like. So let me just go ahead. Yeah, so I wanted a section like this. That was what I wanted. So I'm kind of trying to find out what makes sense. Again, this is the beauty of purchasing a template. You can just start from scratch really easily. You don't have to start from scratch, rather. You can start from their template. Ooh, I like this. What is this? I like this section a lot, actually. This is a really cool card. Okay, let's remember this one, okay? I think this one is cool. Let me just take a look what else is in here. Oh, this is okay. This is what they get after they download something. Very interesting. I like it. I like it a lot. There's a landing page even already for what they do after they purchase. By the way, if just to show you guys, because I did not cover that just yet. What you can do after someone purchases something is you can redirect them to a URL. So it's a download. So this is basically where I'm going to redirect them to. So for me, I'll put that link in later, obviously after I go live, but you can just click that and that will go to where you want them to go. Okay, so again, I'm just trying to find a appropriate thing to put on the homepage as the like something like this could work as well. I don't like it as much, to be honest. It's not as nice for me. So I'm trying to find if there's anything better. Oh, I love these elements. These elements are so cool. They're so cool. Let's start here. What's this do? Getting started. Okay, so webflow only, file download. Yep, that will replace the Gumroad. Course platform, they also allow that, which is really cool. But I don't need to do that. So I might do member stack later. So this is for subscriptions. This is what we need for subscription payments. For the one-off ones, obviously, we just saw that's how you do it. But for subscriptions, we can do this. And then we can just add the subscriptions. Very cool, actually. I'm really liking this template. I think we made the right decision. I'm still trying to find something that works better for us. That's events. I don't want teachers. That's the wrong thing I clicked. Blog. Blog doesn't have anything I want either. Okay, so it seems like what we want is either this section or the section that we saw with the little bubble. Let's take both of them. Okay, so the best thing to do is to take both and don't think too hard, because once we take both, we'll see which one we like, right? So I find it inside here. So I'm gonna paste this section. It's gonna find its way to the bottom here. So this section can be put there, and then before I start positioning it, I'm going to find the other one, which I really like. This one right here. And then let's find this card. Oh, this one. I think this one's already going to be the one, actually. I'll be honest. Let's go back to the home. And why is because it already has the container to put in. So it already fits in directly. I just need to reposition it a little bit. So it's pretty good already, if you ask me. Okay, so let's move this down a little bit. I'm going to make sure that I have some positioning. So this whole thing, I'm just going to add some padding on top. This is not best practices. You should add bottom padding generally, but I just want to see how it looks before I actually position it properly. Okay, so right now what's happening here is that there is I believe that's from this page. I'm trying to figure out where that gray is coming from. If you guys see that gray. There's a linear gradient. There we go. I take off the linear gradient, and then I can go ahead and add more padding on the top. Drink water, guys, remember. Okay. So as I mentioned before, I like this much better. And what we can do here is essentially just add some stats that we want to show. I like their stats though. So I'll take the stats from here. Okay, so we can say, because we have around 6,000 downloads, maybe 6,000 users. 6,000 plus users. Oh, interesting. You can do it the other way around. And then, how come they had it before? What's happening? Users. 6,000. 5-star reviews, and this is, we have 500 of them, so I can show them all on the list. 100, and then systems, and we can say like systems, we can say like this is like maybe 10 plus. Okay, and then we take out this section here. We have this right here inside products. I think I'm going to change that to systems for a better life. So that's what we're going to call, it's not exactly templates, but it's more systems for better life. Users, again, we can change these icons later on. Again, this is not the most important part of going live, which we are in like 30 seconds, but it's just to see how things go. So I'm going to hit publish. Let's see how things work for us. But I'm really psyched, guys. It already looks really nice. I'm going to open this up as a page. Timer is going to ring in 5 seconds. And then we can talk a bit about what we've built and where we're going to go from here, okay? So let's do that. All right, so let's take a break, or I guess this is the conclusion of the stream. We'll talk a bit about what we've built and where we can go from here. So let's do a little bit of that. So first, let's talk about what we wanted to build when we first came in, right? So we found a suitable template design. Great. We replicated that inside our project. We made the decision to keep it on a separate domain for now. So keep on separate domain for now. And by the way, if you want to know how to put on a separate domain, I will quickly show you that before we end the stream. But basically, then we wanted to make sure that we could change the wordings to fit what we wanted to tell. We had a custom metrics, so we had a metric session. Dynamic naming of products, we'll do that later. That's not a huge component right now because they're all templates, but later on when there are courses and stuff like that, that will make a lot of sense. We had a checkout flow integrated with Stripe. That was super easy. Still can't believe how easy that was. Amazing. And then now we're publishing an MVP, right? So what's the checklist for publishing for MVP? Let's make a checklist for this, right? We're going to change our domain to redirect. So if you have a domain, you can use that. Otherwise, you can use Webflow's domain. Remove Webflow branding. I believe there's Webflow branding right now. So we need to remove that. And then what we also need to do is just do a walkthrough of the site. So let's go ahead and remove Webflow branding first, because I think that's important. Otherwise, we're advertising them even after we paid. It's on the bottom right here. If you can't see that, it's super small, but I believe we removed it on the project settings. So let's go there. And then we can, so fave icon is important. So fave icon, you want to make sure you have your fave icon of your app, obviously. So fave icon, uploading that. Oh, 256. So let's go for 256, like so. This is 32 by 32. Great. Time zone, I want to do GST. I think it's fine. It doesn't really matter. Display Webflow display. So I got rid of the Webflow display. I'm going to also make sure that we have a nice domain for this. I just want to make sure Toolbox. I'm pretty sure Toolbox is taken. Yeah. So let's call it systems for a. That's too long. Coextree Toolbox. I think Toolbox. I think that's fine. Let's just save this for now. And for someone who's asking about adding custom code, this is where you put it. You can add custom code to add to your site if you'd like. It's not found because I just changed the name of the site. So let's go ahead and refresh. Okay, so we have e-commerce, custom code. You can add custom code in here if you like. That's really easy, and SEO and stuff. It's just basically how people can find you. Anyway, I think it's time to share. So let's share this. I don't want to read only. I actually want the link of the site. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure I go to the right domain because it's coextree-toolbox now. Awesome. So let's talk a bit about what we've just built, okay? Again, took 2 hours, 4 pomodoros, and we had fun doing it. And I explained myself, so I went a bit slower than I would usually actually. But the whole idea is that we now got started, right? So it looks already really nice. You click Start Now, goes to the bottom. I can see a bunch of stuff. I can see my explanation of why this is important to us. That's really good. Actually, let me just refresh that page again, because I believe when we scroll down, it has a really nice effect. Yeah, so I only see this until I scroll down more. I'm like, oh, okay, this is how it can be helpful. And then I can also see different testimonials, which is awesome. Open up the all control system. Let's read more into this. So interesting. It defaulted there, but I think it should default here. So we can see what we'll get for this. Again, a lot of this information I haven't updated yet, but I think these are the small details. You can update them later. It's all in your products page. But you can learn about the template. Very cool. You can learn about related stuff. That's also really cool. Can you remove the footer here? So let's go and remove the footer. So let's go to designer and let's remove the footer there as well. So I believe that's inside the detailed page. So if I go into here, product detail. So product detail. There we go. And I can remove this footer at the bottom. That's really nice. I can have that. And then just the last thing I want to double check, because I realized we didn't do that just yet, is order confirmation. Okay, so order confirmation could be really cool. Okay, this looks really nice. Actually, this fits everything. And I believe it already does it all, so I don't need to worry about it. Great, going back to this. So let me refresh this page. So you can see that I see everything. Some more padding could be done, but you can see all these things. What you'll get, you can see details about what this product is all about. You can keep reading about it, keep scrolling through, and now I can add more details if I'd like. I can add to carts, which adds a cart into here, which is really nice. And then I can do a checkout. If I check out, I can put my email and stuff, put my card details. There's a discount code. I can place the order, which it will fail if I don't have it, obviously. But yeah, really cool. It works. 2 hours, guys. I hope that you can also build something similar, no matter what you're building. This is just a quick guide if you wanted to learn how to build it in Webflow. Again, like I said, my journey took me through Notion, WordPress. I used to use Wix as well. Actually, I had a Wix website for a while. And then I used my own custom built site, Gatsby.js. But if you're really just trying to build something that other people have done before, use a template builder. I am using custom code to build this Code3 family connection because nobody has built this before. But if someone has built this before, use a template. That's all I have to say. Aside from that, thank you guys for joining me today. And really excited to chat with you guys to have this challenge series. If you guys like it, do let me know. I will do more of this and just really show you guys what you guys can build in a certain amount of time and have you guys follow along with us as we build together. That's it from me, guys. Thank you guys so much yet again. Please take care. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Bye bye.